And we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. Have a great week.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of Marketing Minute Live.
We're so thrilled you're able to join us. So, today we're going to talk about digital ads. And we've heard a lot of feedback from small businesses about digital ads, some even questioning whether they really work. Some have stated that they've put a lot of money into running ads and got no sales out of it. And they've questioned whether it's a waste of time and money, and some even wonder, does it even work? Is it worth the time?
Mhm.
So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and we see that the failure that you may have with digital ads is isn't just because of the digital ads. The fact is that billions of dollars are spent on digital ads every year because it works. They can be effective and they can be effective for you. There is a learning curve to it. You just don't want to jump into it because you can end up wasting time and money. But there are some mistakes that you can start off avoiding right now that will really help you see an improvement in just the quality and the results that you're getting from your ad. So, we're going to talk about 4 mistakes that small businesses make with digital advertising.
So, first of all, it's very important to define your goals and objectives. In other words, ask yourself, what is it that I want to get out of this ad? And what is it that I can measure? How can I go about measuring the results of my efforts? Am I aiming to boost sales? Am I aiming to collect new leads? Or maybe I'm just looking to build brand awareness. So, of course, you first need to identify what is your objective and then how you're going to go about measuring it.
Mhm. And a second mistake that can be made is putting your entire advertising budget in one campaign, meaning you're not spreading your budget. You don't want to put, maybe you have a budget of like $60 a month. You don't want to put all of that in one ad campaign because what's going to happen is you'll never really know what's working and what's not working. We suggest that you do A/B testing, try out different ad copies, try out different media. Does a video work better than a picture for this ad? If you're putting all your money in one campaign, you're never going to be able to test that. And you're also, if it falls flat, you've wasted your entire budget.
And then, of course, the next is defining your target. Um, it's very easy to just target everyone in the United States, but not everyone's interested in what you have to offer. And besides, the first group of people that you target, that's still going to be your cold market. So, first, you want to make sure that you're narrowing it down as much as possible to tightly fit the audience that you're trying to target. Maybe narrowing it by age and by their job type, or job title, where they work, their interest in maybe certain hobbies. It's important to understand your audience so that way you can narrow down your target according to all of the features that Facebook allows you, or Instagram, or whatever you're using, allows you to narrow down your target. The better you narrow it down, the more likely you're to make sure that your ad shows up in front of the right people.
Yes. And basically, when your audience is too broad, it can actually increase your clocks per click. So you end up paying more when you have not an audience that's not defined. And then even if you feel like your audience is a large set of people, well, there's still like smaller segments in that ad or in that audience. So that way you can tailor your ad for maybe a younger audience appreciates this aspect of your product or service, but people older appreciate another aspect of your product or service. So you can kind of highlight that with different ads for different age groups, even if it's like the same sale, same product, same service. So segment your audiences if you do feel like it is, well, it's not as narrow as I can get.
Let's use the example of a floral shop. for example. They may want to target individuals that have anniversaries this month or next month or what have you. Facebook actually allows you to identify those individuals that have anniversaries and target them with something relating to what they would actually be interested in, right? Of course, last minute gift ideas, you know, for those who have anniversaries, So just making sure that you are targeting the right people with the right information and narrowing it down.
Yep. And lastly, the last mistake is not reviewing your reports and analytics. I
Yeah.
kind of alluded to this in the second tip with like testing out the water, seeing which ad performs better. But if you're not checking your analytics, you're going to continue to end up wasting your money because you're not sure what's working and what's not working. Sometimes just because you feel like an ad it's going to go well, it's going to perform well, the data can tell you something totally different.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have to rely on that to make changes and to improve your ads down the line.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you also have the ability to retarget your initial target with more information. Maybe the first time you target that audience, you're kind of like piquing their interest.
Mhm.
And based on their actions, you're now retargeting them because they've shown through their actions that there's interest. So it's not always a good idea to target them right away with your offer. Instead, you may want to take them down a funnel, so to speak, and then target them with the offer. In some cases, I've seen people successfully target people on that initial attempt and get them to convert. So, those are things to think about. But again, looking at your reports, it tells you a lot.
Yes, and that method was actually what I will be discussing next month in my webinar, Dominating with Digital Advertising. We'll go over more into detail with a lot of these tips that we've mentioned today, how to review your analytics so that you can make changes, implementing email automation so that way you can collect leads if that's your goal, developing an actual campaign plan because it's more than just designing an ad and pushing that out there. You really want to have a plan, like defining your goal. And then we'll also go into just some tips on how to design your ad and really convert those potential customers into paying customers and clientele.
At the end of the day, we want to make sure that your efforts are paying off. So, definitely encourage you to join Jasmine for that webinar so that you can put into practice immediately the awesome tips that she will share with you. But that brings us to the end of another Marketing Minute Live. We hope you enjoyed this one. Please feel free to enter any questions that you may have in the box below, and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. Have a great week.